Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Today, our topic is very interesting. I have spent several years of my life trying to understand this subject. It is almost like a science by itself. And I am sure as I start explaining to you parts of this topic, you yourself will be more and more intrigued to understand the theories of this topic. We are talking about body language. And if you understand this topic really deep and nicely, you will be able to understand people, their motives, their intentions, their interests, and so many more things about them. Thus, making your interactions so much more valuable and meaningful. You will also be able to know how to navigate through different personalities just by reading how their body behaves while they communicate and how you can get work done from them. What motivates them, what switches them off, what they really like and what they dislike. The science of body language is well known to human beings from the time they exist. However, it is one important part of our education system today because this science forms a very important element of communication skills. You might be able to speak flawless English, write great literature, be good at storytelling. But if all this does not have the right associated body language, it creates quite the opposite impact of what your intentions would be. Let me explain to you how this happens. I find it very interesting when I meet people who can make really good conversations. So, once I met a gentleman who was very good in the field of finance. When I started my conversation with him, he spoke about investments. It was something I wanted to talk more on. But as he was going deeper into the conversation, I realized his body language seemed extremely loose and weird. I could not really focus on what he was saying because I just felt that the behavior associated with the personality, this educated, was absolutely not a match. The knowledge was one thing, but in all the other ways, he seemed like somebody who had very low values. The posture in which he sat, the eye contact that he was giving me, smiling for no reason, and constantly being distracted by his phone were all body language signs that showed me how he was not as smart as he thought he was. He, in fact, sometimes came across as being highly disrespectful. Instead of enjoying the topic of discussion, which I thought I was having with somebody who had great knowledge about his field, I ended up feeling like I wasted my time. This shows that no matter how intelligent or experienced you are, if your body language does not match your words, people will form a whole different opinion about you. Let me share another example which will help you understand this even better. Once I was attending a training session conducted by a woman who was an expert in human resources. She had an excellent presentation and her content was very strong. However, she kept pacing around the room in a very restless way. She was constantly touching her hair, adjusting her clothes, and fidgeting with her pen. Every few seconds, she would glance at the clock as if she wanted the session to end quickly. Even though her words were perfect, her body language was showing nervousness and lack of confidence. Many people in the audience started losing interest after a few minutes. Instead of paying attention to what she was teaching, they were looking at her movements. Later, a participant even said that he could not focus because she looked so anxious. This again shows, what if your body language is not calm, composed, and confident? People will not be able to believe your words fully. This is why, when you speak to someone, your gestures, posture, and facial expressions must support your message. When your words and your body language work together, you create a strong and lasting impression. We all have met somebody like this who turned around to make us feel really comfortable or really uncomfortable, girls and boys alike. And if I really ask you what it was about the person that made you feel comfortable or uncomfortable, you will tell me specifics about their body language. This is how important this topic is. And hence, I urge you to pay close attention and decode every aspect of every topic in this category that we discuss. Trust me, this is so important in any field of work that you pick up, that your entire credibility can be based on it. People will like you or dislike you based your body language. You will attract opportunities based on your body language that you display. You will be able to gain business or lose business based on how you carry this science of body language. So, are you ready to uncover the magic and power of body language? Let me also tell you one more thing. Body language is not only about how you sit, walk, or move your hands, it is also about your energy. When you walk into the room, people can feel your presence. If you walk in confidently, maintain gentle eye contact, and smile genuinely, people instantly feel connected to you. On the other hand, if you walk in with your shoulders drooping, eyes on the floor, and no expressions on your face, you give an impression of low confidence. Even if you do not speak a word, your body language is already speaking for you. That is why it is said that actions speak louder than words. The way you shake hands, the way you nod, the way you sit in a meeting, or even how you listen to someone all sends signals about who you are and what kind of person you may be. Good body language builds trust. Bad body language breaks it. So, as you grow in your personal and professional life, remember that your body language will always go ahead of your words. It is your silent introduction before you even start talking. In the end, body language is not about pretending or acting. It is about being aware of yourself. It is about learning to express your thoughts with confidence, kindness, and clarity. When you learn to master it, you not only influence others, but also understand them. And that is the real power of this science. Let us start with understanding where does body language play an important role. Interviews. When we train students on how to clear an interview, we not only make sure that they have a smashing resume, but we also make sure that they know how to carry a confident body language so that the interviewer is able to get a good feeling about them, which will in turn get them the job. Knowing how to carry yourself at an interview, not only to showcase your qualifications and your scores, but also to showcase maturity, etiquette, and clarity of thought, body language plays an important role. Two candidates were going for an interview. Both were seated on the same sofa, but one is bent over and engrossed on his phone, and the other is sitting upright waiting for his turn. When the interviewer walks into the room, the first one, who was busy on his phone, stands up and gives a sloppy handshake to the interviewer, while the other one, who was eagerly waiting for his turn, gives a nice firm handshake to the interviewer. Don't you think the interviewer will be more impressed with the second candidate than the first? Why do you think that would be so? Simply because, from the point of view of an interviewer, the first candidate seemed uninterested, less confident, and not eager enough. But the second candidate seemed present, confident, and enthusiastic. Now, a mature interviewer will definitely not make a decision based on just this much. But the questions that will come to the first and second candidate will definitely be different. While the interviewer will judge the second candidate and ask questions related to the content on the resume, the interests and hobbies and ambitions, the questions for the first candidate will be more personal, related more to the scores on the resume and seriousness of the candidate. You can take it that candidate 2 will enjoy his interview, but candidate 1 will definitely struggle through the questions. And all because he could not convince the interviewer at the first impression through his body language. People are watching you all the time, and they are decoding your thoughts, your background, and your ambitions all before you can even speak. Just by watching how you sat, stood, and walked. Let me share another situation. Imagine a student giving a presentation in front of a class. One student speaks well but keeps looking down at the slide, rarely makes eye contact, and moves his hands awkwardly. Another student might speak in the same way but stands tall, smiles, and maintains calm eye contact with everyone. Even if both students speak the same words, the second student will appear more confident and convincing. The teacher and classmates will automatically trust the student's ideas more. And this happens because the body language of the second student supported his words and builds a sense of confidence. The next place where body language plays an important role is public speaking. A lot of emphasis is given on how to maintain eye contact, use hands, walk around the stage, facial expressions and gestures when a person is going to speak in public. In order to make your topic and your presentation more interactive with the audience, students are taught a variety of postures, gestures, and movements. Body language does not only improve engagement with the audience, but it also helps students keep a high confidence level during the presentation. How a person starts a presentation, what kind of open body language he or she exhibits, and how he or she moves around the stage makes their entire public speaking experience a great one, while helping the audience take back important points from the engagement. When focusing on public speaking, body language controls nearly 60% of the engagement and confidence level, while the balance 40% is taken care of by the content. A lot of times we tell students if their body language showcases confidence, they have already done a fantastic presentation. Have you ever heard the sentence, fake it till you make it? This line is referred to faking confidence in body language until confidence becomes a part of your personality. Public speaking is not just about what you say, but also how you say it. The audience pays more attention to your expressions, your tone, and the way you hold yourself. The calm smile, the open posture, and the firm voice gives the expression that you are in control. Even if you feel nervous, your body language can trick your mind into actually feeling confident. There is also another side to this. Poor body language can make the best speech sound boring. For example, if someone crosses their arms tightly, avoids eye contact, and keeps turning away from the audience, people will assume they are not interested or unsure. The same speech delivered with positive movements and expressions can completely change how the audience feels. Public speaking becomes easier when you understand that your body is your biggest communication tool. It supports your words, gives them strength. So the next time you are on stage, remember to stand tall, smile genuinely, make eye contact, and let your body speak with your words. That is how great speakers create a lasting impression and inspire confidence in everyone who listens to them. Next is one-to-one interactions and relationships. We have already covered a lot on relationships and communication in our first lesson. And body language, there was an important idea which gives depth and meaning to any conversation. When interacting with opposite genders, body language plays an important role because what words say and what the body communicates can sometimes be completely different. And this completely different can further be misunderstood by people according to their own understanding. If the body language of a man during his one-to-one group interactions makes women uncomfortable, he can quickly get into trouble. At the same time, if the body language of a woman makes some men feel differently, she can quickly get into trouble herself. During a one-to-one interaction, in order to have a good experience where two people exchange knowledge and hear each other, one must understand what kind of body language will bring warmth and comfort to the conversation. When people feel threatened, insecure, or uncomfortable during their interactions with others, they will keep away and refrain from communication. But if they feel motivated, comfortable, and heard, they are more inclined not only to talk more, but they also become your brand ambassadors, taking good things about you to everyone they meet. Have you ever met someone who listens to you by maintaining good eye contact, nodding when you make a point, and smiling at the humor you may have in what you are saying? Does that interaction not feel so much more fun? You feel like communicating more to that person. But when you are talking to somebody who is busy on their phone or looking elsewhere or has a strict posture as if they are judging every sentence that you are saying, this interaction will feel heavy, uncomfortable, and demotivating in many ways. You may not want to engage with this person again. We all like to have people around us who make us feel verbally and non-verbally comfortable. And that is when body language plays a vital role. Let me share another situation. Imagine two colleagues working on the same project. One of them always greets people with a smile, maintains a calm and open posture, and speaks with a relaxed tone. The other colleague, however, hardly looks up from the computer, speaks in short sentences and keeps their arm folded most of the time. Even though both may be equally skilled, people will naturally find it easier to approach the first one. The reason is simple. Their body language gives out a positive and welcoming signal. Positive body language builds trust. It tells others that you are approachable, respectful, and kind. On the other hand, closed body language creates distance. It makes others assume that you are disinterested, rude, even when that might not be true. This is why in one-to-one relationships, how you look at someone, how you stand or sit, how you listen, and even how you smile can make a big difference. When your body language shows respect and genuine attention, people remember you. They feel valued and important. Over time, this not only helps you build stronger personal relationships, but also helps in your professional growth. People who make others feel comfortable are trusted faster, included more often, and remembered longer. So always remember, in every one-to-one interaction, your body language speaks before your words do. The warmth in your eyes, the ease in your smile, and the openness of your posture can make every relationship more genuine and positive. Next is, body language is used in investigations. I love watching crime, thriller, and suspense. A very different interest from my regular genre of work, which involves soft skills, motivational, and leadership trainings. But I enjoy watching this kind of drama because it gives me many different other perspectives to life. When I watch courtroom dramas and investigations, I like to observe the way investigators investigate somebody who they are suspicious about. Have you ever watched an investigator questioning a suspect? They will watch the eyes, the hands, and the body very, very closely. Their investigation closely analyzes 80% body language and 20% words. From the dilation of the eyes and the eye contact, the constant vibration of the feet, to the nodding of the head, everything is closely monitored for truth and lies. Can you imagine telling the truth yet carrying the wrong body language? But it is believed that you may lie, your body does not. And hence, body language becomes an important element during investigations. More than what was said, how one was saying it starts playing an important role. This is the reason investigators are trained to read every little signal of the body. For example, when you avoid eye contact while answering a question, it may not always mean they are lying, but it shows discomfort and nervousness. Similarly, when someone crosses their arms tightly and turns their body slightly away, it can indicate defensive or fearful behavior. An experienced investigator picks up on these small signals to understand emotions behind the words being spoken. Let me give you another example. Imagine an investigator asking two suspects about the same event. The first suspect answers calmly, keeps a steady eye contact, and speaks in a relaxed tone. The second suspect, while giving the same answer, keeps blinking too much, fidgets with his hand, and looks away often. Even before checking the facts, the investigator's attention will move more towards the second suspect. Why? Because his body language is not in sync with his words. The signals this body is giving seems to hide something. This does not always mean guilt, but it does raise curiosity and doubt, which then leads the investigator to ask deeper questions. There are also cases where innocent people are misunderstood because of nervous body language. A person who is shy or anxious might appear dishonest even when they are truthful. That is why investigators look at patterns and not just one gesture. They try to understand how the person behaves overall before making any conclusion. You see, body language is not only about communication, it mirrors your emotions. Even when you try to hide what you feel, your body gives tiny clues. That is what makes this science so powerful. This is not the only places where body language plays an important role, but this science is going to play a role in your everyday life. From interviews to relationships to classroom investigations, body language quietly shapes the way people see and understand you. Body language also impacts your own thought process and confidence levels. People who are highly confident carry an open body language, whereas people who are nervous and anxious carry a more suppressed or timid posture. How one speaks also impacts the language that that person's body speaks. Research by renowned American psychologist Amy Cuddy suggests that just by changing a person's body posture, he or she can literally change the confidence hormones in themselves and instantly make themselves feel more powerful. This means that your body is not only reacting to your thoughts but also sending signals back to your mind that shapes how you feel and think. There is a beautiful YouTube video you must check out that will help you understand what power positioning means while we try and understand different aspects of body language and how they play an important role in your interactions with the world. Which means not only can you change the perception of the world by carrying a confident and open body language, but you can actually change the way you feel by correcting some of your own postures. For example, standing tall with your shoulders relaxed and chin up gives your brain a message that you are strong and capable. On the other hand, sitting with your back bent and looking down makes you feel smaller and less confident. So every time you walk into a room, stand or sit with confidence. It will not only make others believe in you, it will also make you believe more in yourself. Before we get started, let's explore what do you know about your own body language and what have you observed in others? Because like I always say, awareness is the key to change. Pause this video, download exercise 1 and try to complete it to reflect a little on your own language based on this topic. All right, so we have established that body language is an important element and it will be really good for you to learn this topic a little in depth. So let's dive right in. The first parameter of body language that I would like to cover is proxemics. Proxemics refers to the distance maintained by two people when they are communicating with each other. How close or far you stand while interacting with people plays a very important role in how they perceive you, understand you, or misunderstand you. We all carry a space around us where we are comfortable with people, such as our family and very close friends. This place is called the intimate space. It is everywhere between 1 to a half meter distance from where we stand. In this intimate space, we are okay with holding hands, hugging each other, standing close and talking. But then there is a space beyond this which belongs to those who we meet regularly. We have a relationship with, or we at least know them. We may be okay with talking to the people in this space, but we may not be okay with holding hands or hugging them. In fact, this may even seem highly inappropriate. Beyond this space is the social space. Here comes the people who we have just met or interacted with when we travel, colleagues and friends who may not directly connect to us, but we know them through someone else. Here the interactions are more formal, and along with the distance, we also maintain a method of verbal communication. In no way do we want this circle to get the wrong sense of the signals that we send out. Ahead of this is the public space, where everyone else we know or do not know exists. Have you ever met someone who you seem to know well, but not that well, who comes so close to you that they make you feel uncomfortable? This happens because the person belongs to the personal space, suddenly stepped into your intimate space. When this is done by people who belong to the social or public space, it just makes the experience even worse. But what if one of your loved ones stood a meter away from you while they talked, and when you rest your hand on their shoulders, they step away from you? You would think that something is wrong with them, that they might be angry with you. Just because somebody who belongs to your intimate space steps a little towards your personal or social space. When people who should maintain a distance come closer, it makes us uncomfortable. But when people who should stay close move further, this makes us insecure. Distance changes the emotions and feelings that one feels, which directly impacts the trust in the interaction. Proximity also showcases to the outside world what your relationship status with the person is that you interact with. When I'm standing with my husband, brother, or father, I will stand really close and seem very comfortable. This will suggest to the people watching that he is a man I know, have a relationship with, and I'm very comfortable with. But when I'm standing with a friend, a colleague, I consciously or unconsciously will maintain a respectful distance, which will help others understand that we may know each other and be friends, but we are not that close. Proxemics plays an important role in a student relationship or a supervisor and subordinate bond, and many such relationships that may be part of daily interaction require conscious awareness of distance to maintain. Think about a classroom situation. A teacher who walks too close to the student's desk while talking may make the student feel nervous or distracted. But if the teacher keeps standing too far and never comes close to connect, the student might feel that the teacher is distant and not approachable. In both cases, the distance affects how the student feels. When the teacher maintains the right space, neither too close and neither too far, it builds trust and comfort in the classroom. In the same way, in office or group discussions, people who understand the right use of personal space are seen as respectful and professional. Those who stand too close are often thought to be pushy, while those who stay too far seem disconnected. The right balance helps people feel safe, confident, and included. So, the next time you step too close to someone, you know that your action will make the person and all the others watching translate your proximity in many different ways. The space you maintain speaks a language of its own. And when you learn to use that space wisely, you will notice how smoothly your communication and relationships begin to flow.